Well, I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised that Fury versus Usyk is off for the April the 29th. When I heard the news yesterday, I've seen several articles about it. I'm not shocked. I'm a bit pissed off, obviously, like the rest of the boxing world is, because we're being robbed of unification and robbed of a great fight and a big fight. Unsurprisingly, it appears that it's Tyson Fury who's causing the issues with his refusal to, be reasonable. Really, I've said all along he's not as great as he thinks he is. I've said it all before. So yeah, not very happy with that. I'd like to hear what Fury's got to say for himself, to be honest. Because he's a fucking... He's been sounding like a coked up lunatic chavvy twat for the past few weeks, releasing all these videos screaming about he's going to do the middleweight and all this stuff. And just making himself look like a fucking idiot, really. So, yeah. A bit perplexed by that. It was only a week or two ago he was screaming and ranting and raving on Instagram that he was going to do the middleweight, he was going to Usyk, going to knock you out. And there was obviously the whole 70-40 business, or 70-30, business. And that, so Usyk agreed to that, to take the smaller ridiculous cut of the money. And then, of course, according to Usyk's manager, when I heard him speaking on Talk Radio, he said that basically there was a huge list of demands that the Furies were making, and that Usyk basically turned around and said, "No, I'm not playing this fucking game anymore. Fuck you guys, I'm going home." And initially I thought, oh, why doesn't he say what the issues are? And the more it's gone on, the more I thought, yeah, I can just imagine it's probably real petty bullshit to try and get an advantage. Now, for somebody who could beat, in his mind, Usyk easily with one hand tied behind his back, why would you need to make a list of demands? And the rematch clause became an issue. And 1 minute it was in, and then he wanted it out, and so on and so forth. And I mean, it's frustrating for us as boxing fans to deal with all this bullshit. So I can only imagine how frustrating it must be for the fighter. I mean, we had all this with the AJ fight last year. Calling out AJ, let's do it December the 3rd, rah, 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 rah. You've got 24 hours to sign a contract. You big dosser, blah, blah, blah. All that old fucking... the same old Fury bollocks that we hear day in and day out, and it gets so fucking tiresome. And it's like, all of a sudden I see all these people on Instagram or on YouTube, comment sections and things, outraged at Fury's behaviour. It's like, mate, I've been telling you for years, this is what he's like. He's a prick. He's a loud-mouthed, coked up twat who failed drugs test, let's not forget, who sat out for 3 years because he didn't want to fight. And yes, okay, he may have had his mental health issues, but the more he exposes his true character, the more you wonder if that's just a smokescreen. He hides behind his religion when he says stupid, misogynistic and homophobic things. And he's done that in the past. Just Google it. If you don't believe what I'm telling you, Google it. It's quite easy. Look him up on Wikipedia or wherever. Just look him up. And you'll find a whole list of nonsense from the man. And the excuses afterwards are either his mental health or he hides behind his religion, which I find a lot of people do. I mean, I know plenty of... I'm not religious myself, but I know plenty of Christian people, Jewish people, whoever, who don't say twattish things and then blame their religion for it. So, that doesn't wash with me, really. And, for the record, as I've always said, I think Fury would beat Usyk. I think he'd beat anybody in the heavyweight division now. There isn't anybody active in the heavyweight division I think that he couldn't beat. So I don't understand why he doesn't just fucking fight. Give the fans what they want. Why does he just keep... it appears all he wants to do is fight low risk, high reward fights, like with Chisora, the walking punch bag. So yes, it's very frustrating and annoying, but not surprising. It really isn't. So I hope the boxing world and fans wake up and realise what I've been saying for a long time. The guy is a lying, scheming scumbag. He threatens retirement one minute, then comes out of retirement a day or two later, says he'll fight anybody, says he'll fight for free, and then demands fucking millions, billions. You can't take the guy seriously. And how people, all these fanboys I keep seeing, you're entitled to your opinions, just as I am mine. You don't have to believe what I say, you don't have to agree with what I say, I don't give a fuck. These are my opinions. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I may not agree with you, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. We're all entitled to our opinion. And my opinion on this matter has not changed. Tyson Fury is a disgraceful human being, and a disgrace to the sport of boxing, and a disgrace to the heavyweight title. So there you go. That's just my opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to agree with me. I don't care if you agree with me or not. My previous video that I uploaded on Saturday, that got taken down. I found out after a few emails back and forth with YouTube. That's because somebody reported it. But I've not been told who, and I've not been told why it was reported. So it's gone. It's not coming back. If you didn't see it, basically I was saying my reasons why I don't consider Tyson Fury to be the greatest of all time, like he says he is, and a lot of his fans say he is. And that was fine. And some people agreed with what I said, some people didn't, in the comments section. And it's like, I like to see people's comments, and I like to interact with people. However, I will say, I will not interact with you if you comment on my videos and you write all in caps. And if it's all just shouty, sweary bullshit, with choice phrases like, you don't know shit about boxing. If you're going to say, look at that, you might think that. I don't care if you think that. Boxing is my passion. Boxing has been my life since I was 7 years old. So, that's fine. If you don't think I know shit about it, that's great. That's your opinion. I don't care. You're entitled to it just like I am. I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm not going to cry about it. However, don't write all in caps, because I won't read it, to be honest. People who write all in caps and don't use punctuation, I just won't read your comment. I'll probably just delete it, to be honest. Because you're the sort of person I'd avoid in real life, to be honest. A lot of people who put their pronouns in emails and things like that, or on their social media pages. I'll just avoid you. You can do what you want. I'll just fucking avoid you, to be honest. So if you're going to comment on these videos, and believe me, I encourage it. I enjoy interacting with people. Like I said, if you disagree with me, you can disagree with me, but do it in a polite and civilised way, and tell me why you disagree with me. Let's have a discussion, a polite adult discussion like normal human beings. I will not resort to shouting and swearing back and forth, and don't just use the old, you don't know shit about boxing because you disagree. Because that's not much of an argument. Tell me why you disagree with me, and we'll have a nice little debate, a little discussion. But, I get it on Instagram as well. I get, today, for example, somebody's post I follow about the whole Fury thing came up, and a guy put on there, which is his opinion. Usyk don't want that smoke, or something stupid like that. Usyk obviously don't want that smoke. So I just commented underneath his comment, replied to his comment. I think you'll find it's Fury who doesn't want to fight people that might give him problems, or something along those ways. And I immediately got this DM from the guy, and all it was just effing and blinding and calling me a bitch and all this stuff. And I was just like, mate, fucking grow up, sunshine. So I just blocked him. You know, that's all you can do with people like that. Seems to be, we live in a generation, it's the usual keyboard warrior stuff, you know. People feel safe hiding behind a computer screen or a phone. But in real life, if you were to meet these fucking people, they'd be quiet as a mouse, a lot of them. So I don't pay these kind of people mind, really, because they're just fucking stupid. And they prove themselves with their stupidity when they open their mouths a lot of the time. But it just fascinates me how fucking pathetic and ridiculous people are in this day and age. And again, I blame social media, I blame the internet, because everyone feels like they can be disrespectful and rude and obnoxious to each other. And a lot of these people, I will say, in my opinion, who are like this on a computer, are the sort of people who think that Tyson Fury's great and that he's brilliant and he can do what he wants. Because that's their mentality. They think that they can do what they want and they can say what they want and they can act like fucking retards and morons and draw negative attention to themselves. They're the kind of people that think Tyson Fury is the greatest thing ever in the sport of boxing. And a lot of those same people, I will say, a lot of them probably don't watch boxing that often. They just watch this. They watch the YouTube fighting, you know, like Jake Paul and all that. And they probably have no idea of the history of boxing. There's a lot of history in boxing. I would say to anybody who's getting into boxing now or doesn't know a lot about boxing, read some books about the history of it. There's plenty of stuff on YouTube, you know, biographies of different fighters, you know, career things. Just fill that brain up. Fill that brain up with all the knowledge, all the wonderful history of professional boxing that there is out there. The good and the bad. You've got to do it all. That's why I read so much since I got into boxing at 7 years old, 33 years ago. I've consumed every piece of media I can get hold of, books. I've watched fights live. I've watched old fights. I used to tape trade back in the day when VHS tapes were the thing. I used to tape trade with people. Yeah, I used to get some dodgy copies come through of classic fights, but I've seen them all. I've watched most documentaries about boxing. You know, I've filled my mind up, my brain up. Boxing is my life, is my passion, is my one love. Apart from my wife, of course, and my dog. So, right, that's enough out of me. I'm going to try and get some more sleep. And you guys take care, and I'll speak to you soon.